Hi there friends, and welcome to my channel Cat's Paw Canteen. I'm Kenny, and today we're making a delicious beef pilaf dish. If you don't know what pilaf is a nice savory dish. It is rich in flavors. It's essentially rice that is cooked in some sort of broth. It could be chicken broth, vegetable broth, beef broth, seafood broth, anything that you'd like. As for today, I'll be using both beef and beef broth to make a delicious and comforting meal. So come follow me into the kitchen and I'm going to show you how I make it. Okay, let's start off by prepping some of the veggies here. We got a couple to prep, so I'm just going to simply slice up some onions, dice up some bell peppers, and slice up some mushrooms. Now that we've got our veggies all prepped up, let's go ahead and go over the rest of the ingredients. I've got here some beef. This is, I'm using something called fajita beef, which is thin sliced beef. Now, it's preferred that you use some type of beef with fat on it because it adds extra flavor to it. If you want something leaner, you could go ahead and use some thinly sliced sirloin or something like that, or even ground beef if you want to use ground beef. And of course we have the veggies that we just prepped here. We got the sliced onion, diced bell pepper, and sliced mushrooms. And we also have some minced garlic as well. And I'm just using the stuff out of the tube. As for the seasonings, I'm using salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of thyme, and some smoked paprika. And of course we have some rice because this is a pilaf dish. And as for the stock, I'm using some beef stock, and for some added flavor, some W sauce. As for topping, you might want to use some good old cheese on it. I'm using Parmesan cheese, but if you don't like sharp cheese, you could use provolone, mozzarella, some Colby Jack might do as well. You could use whatever type of cheese that you prefer in this dish. And of course I'll be using some butter and some olive oil as well in the cooking process. So let's move over to the stove and get to cooking. I've got my frying pan heating up. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. Go ahead, add in your garlic and mix that around just a bit here. And when you start to hear the sizzle of the garlic, go ahead, add all your vegetables at once. Go ahead, give that a good stir. And you want to make sure to season everything, so I'm just going to take a pinch of the seasoning and sprinkle on. Give that a good mix. Once the veggies start to sweat, go ahead and add in your beef. And of course add in more seasoning. Good pinch or two. Okay, now once that the meat has browned, we're going to go ahead and turn off the heat and put this away for a bit. Now we're going to start prepping the rice. I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of olive oil in there and let that heat up. Once the oil is hot enough, go ahead, pour in your rice, and we're going to constantly stir this. All we're doing right now is letting the rice brown a little in this oil. We don't want it to burn, so constantly stir it. Once you put the dry rice into the oil, you could see that it turns transparent here and there. But once you've been stirring it around, letting it heat up, you could see that the rice starts to turn white and it's not transparent anymore. Now I can see that most of the rice has turned that white color. It's no longer transparent. It's browning beautifully. I'm going to go ahead, turn off the heat. Let the residual heat kind of cook the rest of it for a bit here. And go ahead, dump in your meat and veggies. Juice and all. Throw in a knob of butter. And then I'm going to put in some beef stock in there. This is about a cup and a half of beef stock. There we go. Add another sprinkle or two of seasoning. And a couple dashes of that W sauce. Probably about a teaspoon or two will do. And then go ahead, turn the heat back on. And go ahead and give this a quick mix. And the heat is on high right now. I'm going to bring this to a full boil. And once it's reached its full boil, go ahead, put a lid on it. And then we're going to turn down the heat. I've turned down the heat to where it's simmering, and we're going to let that simmer for a bit. Alright, so I've been letting this cook for about 20 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat completely and let it be for about 10 minutes in the steam. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. Now go ahead and sprinkle on your cheese. And like I said before, you could use whatever type of cheese that you like. There we go. I'm going to put the lid back on and let the cheese kind of melt down for a good 2-3 minutes or so. Okay, so it's been a minute or two. There we go. Let's go ahead and serve this up. Go ahead, get out your bowl, and look at this, nice, fluffy. Oh my goodness, looks so good. Go ahead, put it in your bowl. And you could add a little bit of dried parsley, make it look pretty. And there you have it. Nice, fluffy, delicious beef pilaf. Oh man, I am so hungry right now. I am ready to eat. Alright then. Itadakimasu. This is so good. The depth of flavor in this is just amazing. The beefiness of it, you know. The beef broth does an excellent job, but having that fatty meat in there brings out a lot of flavor. Take another bite here. This is some excellent stuff. Super easy to make. It does take a little while to make, but well worth the wait, you know. Cheese does a really good job of salting it too. It adds extra flavor. Good stuff. That was another excellent meal. I gotta say, it's really delicious for one thing, easy to make, and pretty affordable too. I think that was all under $20 or so. Before I leave, I want to say thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please make sure to drop a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you back at the canteen real soon.